third segment for Athletes Incorporated. I'm Harold, this is Trey. Third segment. This is some controversial stuff that we're going to talk about that has went on this year. First one we have, Trey, what do we have for on the first controversy?
And just so you know, folks, every third segment now we're going to be talking about something controversial. So hang tight for the third segment. At the Super Bowl, if you guys don't know, they have actually a lot of meetings. They have the NFL PA meeting, and the press actually meets Roger Goodell, who runs the NFL. And one of the things that they talked about was the reason why the ratings are down in the NFL. And the one thing that they point to is all the protests with Colin Kaepernick this year. And I think that's very lazy analysis to think that one thing caused the NFL's to spiral out of control. But what do you think about the protests and kind of what went on in the NFL this year with that?
You know, just before we get on that, when you talk about the ratings being down, I remember when, what's the gentleman from the Dallas Mavericks, runs his mouth, the owner? He told Roger Goodell, you are over-promoting. Right. This Thursday night, these overseas games, you're oversaturation. Yeah. Now you put that oversaturation with some political and racial consciousness that was shown by Colin Kaepernick and a number of other players in the NFL, not just black players, folks, but white players. I think one young man that stood up and I'm so proud of is Chris Long with the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, but his dad, Howie Long, Hall of Famer, played with the Raiders, and he was with Al Davis before Al Davis really started to deteriorate mentally, and had that social consciousness put in him early. Chris Long gave his entire salary this year, folks. How many ever millions that was? His entire salary
was 1.5
was donated. Yeah. That's really saying something, that you're putting your money where your mouth is. But the thing with Colin Kaepernick and number 45 president took opportunity to misuse what he was doing and to misuse what the players was doing. This was not a protest against the American flag. It was not a protest against our servicemen and women around the world. It was not even a protest against good police officers. It was a protest against the people who are being murdered in the streets. Police brutality. The ones who are misusing their power. That's what it was. And instead of that, it was pushed to us against them. And that's not what it was about. He was trying to bring a consciousness to our society to look at what is going on. Had Colin Kaepernick, this is just what I think, had Colin Kaepernick not taken the knee, we would not have the hashtag #MeToo going on right now with the women.
Absolutely.
He gave people the courage, men and women, black and white, Asian, Hispanic. He gave those people the courage to stand up and say, I'm going to tell my story, I can do something also. As number 45 has given a voice to racist people in this country, who now they have a voice to stand up and say things that are quite ugly, to tell you the truth. What did you think about Kaepernick?
Well, just first, folks, I want to let you know where we're coming from and give us comments and let you know what you're thinking. But Harold Johnson is actually a retired firefighter, and I'm an ex-police officer. He was at Denver Fire. I was at Colorado Springs PD. I've also won a Medal of Valor, and I just want to make it clear on my end, if you want to protest the flag, you should be able to do that. That's what our country was founded on, and that's what, the democracy of our country was founded on. Not all this other stuff, but getting back to the main point, what did I think about Colin Kaepernick? I think overall, it was a great protest, and like you said, it gave the voice to so many people. However, I do think Colin Kaepernick didn't really have a plan. And at a certain point, I think he should have stated, hey, this isn't a protest against the flag. This is a protest against police brutality and the mistreatment of black people, minorities, and even women in this nation. So I think it was something that really needed to be said. and needed to be done. And it's kind of sad that Colin Kaepernick lost his job for something like this.
But the thing is, Ray, you might think it's sad, but it's really, really great. Since we consider ourselves a Christian country,
Yeah.
what did Christ do? And if you stand up for right, if you stand up for the truth, you are going to be crucified. That is what it is. And he knew that. And he accepted it, and he's a better man for it. But bringing that to a close, something that is very disturbing, folks, is with USA Gymnastics and Larry Nassar.
Yeah, like that. He was the gymnastic coach, and
Doctor.
he was the gymnastics doctor, and he sexually assaulted over 100 athletes during his tenure with the Olympic staff.
Was also the doctor for Michigan State University. The fallout has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
The president has had to resign. The athletic director has had to resign. Now we come to the fact that there's things that have been going on in the basketball program and in the football program. A culture of you can do whatever you want to do as long as you are winning.
Right.
And it wasn't just the doctor.
Right.
The parents bought into this.
Yeah.
The university bought into this. And for 20 years this has been going on. There's countless young ladies now that are coming forward that said, we told them at Michigan State what was going on. There's always been, for me, something kind of strange and creepy about the Corelli gentleman.
Yeah.
That they brought over to make the USA gymnastics team really great. Right. Now we find out he's not being accused of sexual abuse, but he was verbally and emotionally abusive with these young girls. They were scared to death of him. Mm-hmm. Him and his wife with this special camp that they have down in Texas, which is now is being investigated by the people in Texas. You had to drop your child off, give them to them. You couldn't talk to them. You couldn't come in and look at what the facilities were.
Right.
You're not. So I mean, that's just a bit creepy. But what do you think about when they had the trial and this past week? They had 157 young ladies.
157 young ladies talked. I think that Larry Nassar is going away for a long time, and I think that's what needs to happen. But deeper than that, you were talking about the trial, and you were talking about these young ladies. A lot of the parents saw Larry Nassar do these things and didn't say anything. And that's very interesting to me, that you want your kid to be so successful and so famous that you would allow them to be abused. So that was very interesting to me.
And he was saying that these were treatments
that
were going to help them perform better as gymnasts.
Right.
Sexual in nature, all of them.
Not even, we're talking about an athletic doctor, folks. We're not talking about a doctor for a gynecologist or someone that examines your breast. We're talking about a doctor that looks at your shoulders, looks at your ACL. We're talking about that type of doctor that was doing sexually explicit things to young ladies, sometimes with both parents in the room. So
yes.
It's very interesting stuff. He's going away for a long time. I'm happy about that. I don't know how you folks feel, but comment below. Tell us what you think, and
don't be surprised, folks. As with the hashtag #MeToo, we find out some things have been going on at other universities and other private team facilities around the country, where people give, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep.
And for them to be allowed to do whatever they want and not have to answer to anyone, those things have to stop.
Kind of bringing us to a close, folks. We wanted to give you guys several games this week to watch. Me and my dad are going to be watching, and we'll talk a little bit about that next week. But the number one thing is on Tuesday, the OKC Thunder are playing the Warriors. That's going to be on Tuesday. On Monday, if you guys are big basketball fans, Oklahoma with Trae Young is going to be playing West Virginia. They're number 12, Oklahoma, and 15, West Virginia in the country. We've also got the Olympic ceremony
opening
on the 8th, and we're going to have a whole segment about that next week, folks, so please tune into that. We also got, on Tuesday we got Kentucky, who's 21st in the nation, playing Tennessee. And if you guys are big baseball fans, February 23rd is when spring training starts. So we got a lot of great things coming up. Check us out next week. We're going to have a whole segment on the NFL draft, and we're also going to talk about the Olympics. Remember to like us on YouTube, comment, subscribe. We're on Roku TV. We're also on ibtv.us. Take a look at us, folks, and we'll see you next week. Take care.